Hello, my name's Steven. I'm going to be talking about my discourse community and some solutions to some problems with it. So let's get started. Rock and Roll Prep School is a music school that offers both one-on-one instrumental instruction and band programs. The band programs are semester-based programs where a group of students meet once a week for 3 hours to practice songs as a band. Each semester offers three different themes, and at the end of a semester, students perform their songs for family and friends. This community shares the common goal of improving music skills of students while also boosting self-esteem, according to Joe, a drum instructor at the school who I interviewed a couple weeks ago. We use specific lexes such as sheet music, terms like tempo, time signature, and tunings. This Lexis allows teachers and students to effectively communicate and get ideas across. I have been a part of this community for 2 years as a drum student and recently became a drum instructor for one-on-one instruction. Throughout my time at this school, I have noticed some problems, one of which being unprepared practice sessions. Students being unprepared for band practice is a real problem at the school, and there are many ways in which the school could change in order to solve the problem. These are some questions that we need to ask to fully understand the problem. Okay, so what is the issue? The issue is that students at the school are not prepared on the day of band practice. This is not to say that all or even most of the students come unprepared, as many students do come prepared to practice. The reason that this is a significant problem is that when one person doesn't know their part, it makes it way harder for the rest of the people who did practice to do the song correctly. How long has this been an issue? This problem has been around for Rock and Roll Prep School for years. I've seen the effects of this issue since I started here as a student, and I started about 2 years ago. Who is affected by it the most? This issue has most negative effects on both students who know their parts and students who could not learn their parts with the time given. Who else is affected? Show directors and instructors are also affected by the issue. This is because when students don't come prepared, directors are forced to spend most of practice time on only a few songs. What efforts have been done to fix the issue? There hasn't been much change to the school to solve the problem, but they have enforced a rule in which every student that is in a band program must also do lessons for their instrument. This did not fully solve the problem, as one-on-one lessons are relatively short. If not taken care of, this problem could prevent certain students from progressing as musicians. Now that we know what the problem is, let's talk about possible solutions for the problem. Okay, so the first solution would be to increase instruction time. Currently, one-on-one instruction is only 45 minutes one time a week. This is not sufficient time for students to learn, as not all students have a lot of time or resources to practice their instrument at home. Increasing the time at lessons would allow for students to fully cover their assignments and learn their songs before band practice. I think that adding another 15 to 30 minutes to each lesson would be reasonable, because the school has had enough time each day to do 4 lessons per instructor, even after this extra time is added. Another reason this is fair is that musicians should get 45 minutes of practice in 5 days each week, according to CIOMIT.com. Another solution to the problem would be to increase band practice time. The band practice time right now is 3 hours for semester-based programs. This is not sufficient because it is only once a week, so if students don't come prepared, they currently have to wait a full week before they are able to play with their peers again. Basically, this means there's just not enough time per week, and squeezing all the time into one day, so it just makes it harder for students. So my proposal is to cut down band practice time to 2 hours a day, but make rehearsal fall on 2 days of the week instead of one. This will be beneficial as it adds another hour of practice per week and allows for students to have an extra day to fully learn their part. I believe that this solution is reasonable because it allows for students to get more hours of group practice while only having to attend 2 hours each day. The downside of this solution is that the price for each semester-based program might need to be adjusted upward to account for the staff's extra day of work. The last solution that I suggest would be to require a certain amount of effort. What I mean by this is to give students a schedule based on their assignments. An example of this would be telling a student they're required to practice for at least 5 days a week for 15 to 30 minutes, and requiring them to focus exclusively on band assignments at lessons. So instead of going through like sheet music and stuff, you're just hammering down on those assignments so you can get them done. I think this is reasonable because it sets students up for success. Even though some students are not motivated to practice often, it benefits them in the long run as it allows them to be more prepared for the end of semester show and helps them to gain more skill on their instrument. The biggest benefit of this solution is that there is no financial consequences for the school as a business. Okay. Overall, the best solution to the problem would be a combination of the first two solutions mentioned. This means the school should increase both lesson and rehearsal time each week for students. I think this solution will mostly mitigate the problem because it allows students more opportunities for practice and more frequent improvement and development of group skills.